In this video, which is part 42 of the Coinmarketcap chart for Chartjs series, we're going to work on the tooltip, and more specifically we're going to create or make it more intelligent. As you can see, if I go here in the chart area above, it will disappear, and if I go down here, it will understand when we have enough space, and if we go in here, it will adjust this, and so we can play around with it nicely. So let's start to look how to do this. So let's continue on with our tooltip. So once we are here, you can see here a few things that we're going to solve right now. First one is, as you can see, if I move here, the tooltip doesn't jump to the right location, or basically it needs to jump to the left. Next, what I want to do is, if I go here, well, that's fine, but if I go here up, or even beyond here, I want to make sure that the tooltip disappears, because basically we're outside of the chart area, so we're not allowed to show any tooltip. Same here. The clip off effect, or at least the tooltip, should not even be shown there. Next, if I go with my cursor up, the tooltip should move down, because right now the cursor and the crosshair lines are basically overlapping that, and I don't want that to be shown, or like this. This should not be the case. Tooltip needs to jump down, exactly the same as the Coinmarketcap tooltip. So to do this, first of all, we have to go back to our tooltip function we have created. And let's search for the function that is this one here, the custom tooltip block, and then we have here the tooltip position. So what I'm going to do first is to solve everything outside of the chart area should not be displayed. So I'm going to say enter, and then what I'm going to do here is basically create an if statement, and this if statement is very straightforward. So if, and then we're going to say if the mouse move dot offset x is smaller or equal, and then 2, and what we're going to do here is basically based on what exactly it is, the chart area. So in this case it's x, so it's smaller or equal to left, or sorry, not smaller, or larger than or equal to left. And what I want to do here, let's copy this, I'm going to put it in here, and we want to make sure that the offset x is smaller or equal to right. And then we're going to say here mouse move dot offset y is larger or equal to top, and mouse move y offset y is smaller or equal to bottom. And I think you already understand this part already. If you don't, you need to really understand the chart area calculation of how canvas works. Basically, up is the smallest number, which is 0, down is 300, or whatever the height would be. Same with left and right. So if you don't understand it, please check my video about understanding the chart area, which you can find in the description box. So once I do this, basically it will now start to check if something is working, and I can see here this console log has no function. Let's remove that one. Save, refresh. Alright, so now if I go here, there we are, go there, and now understand, it becomes intelligent enough to understand if we are outside of the chart area, it will not trigger. The next part, what we need to do is basically recalculate our mouse move position, or basically the cursor. If we are going up here, tooltip needs to go jump down, and if we go here, tooltip needs to go to the left side. So by default, I always want the tooltip to be pointing to the right side. So let's start to work on that. To do this, I need to have a value, which we have our starting value, and then later on we can measure that. So I'm going to say here a let value, and I'm going to say x tooltip, and you can give it anything you want, but I'm going to give it a x tooltip, and then I want to say y tooltip. Once we have this, what I'm going to do here is create a constant, and this constant will measure the left side. So I'm going to say a left side equals mouse move dot offset minus left. What I really want to do here is to figure out how many pixels is there, and the reason why I'm doing that is for the left side. In that case, I can move the tooltip to the right or up or down, anything with that. So I'm going to put in all these conditions just in case. So this is very important. because you can see here the tooltip, and we know the width of the tooltip. Well, how? Well, we have here the width plus the 20 pixels here basically of padding. So this is very important because the 20 pixels related to the mouse move here, because if I have the mouse move, 20 pixels is the amount of pixels away from the mouse cursor. So we have this one here, and if I do now a console log, we will be able to see any kind of value. Oh, sorry, I don't want to do that. Save that, refresh, open up developer tab. Then if I move, and of course it's quite heavy now, but you can see here we get something. Anyway, I'll just skip that one because it's quite heavy because of the animations that's in here. So what I want to do here is basically this. We have the console log here, we have the left. Alright, so what I want to do here, simple if statement. I'm going to say the following. I'm going to create here if, and then I'm going to say if the left side would be smaller or equal to how many pixels. Well, let's calculate. If we have 12 pixels, sorry, 20 pixels here, and 150 is the width, in that case we should calculate here how much the left side would be, and I would say in this case the left side should be, sorry, before I even continue on, I don't want to calculate plus and plus. What I want to do here is just only give it a fixed amount, and if I'm not mistaken it should be 20 pixels or 80. Let me do 20 first. I have 80 on my notes, so I'm just not sure why. So, and the reason why I'm referring to that is, oh no, sorry, of course the left side should calculate the width of the tooltip itself. So if we are below 20, then we would probably chop away or clip away a part of our tooltip. So that's why we have that. So it should be here 80 because it's 20 plus 100. Oh no, sorry, plus 150. Well, you know what? I'm just going to test this because I am slightly confused on this one. Anyway, let's go and do this. Let's do this one. I'm going to say here X tooltip. Then I'm going to assign here a value, and the tooltip here will be basically the mouse move dot offset x, and then let's say here plus 20 pixels. Alright, so once I grab this, I'm going to put in this here and down there. Save that, refresh, and I'm wondering why I have that one here, and surprisingly I don't see it. Alright, there you are. You can see it does something. It shows now only here. So this is fine, but I guess I don't understand even what's the function of this here. Anyway, I'm going to just comment this out because I question my structure on this one. What I will do is I will copy this, but I want to have the right side, and later on I'm going to just double test that one. So I might be slightly confused, so but let's test this because I believe it should be only here. So if the width would be this amount, tooltip, or sorry, the 20 plus 150, because that's the width of it, and this width here should be the following. This will be the right side equals, and then here what we're going to do is exactly the opposite. If I'm here, then at that very moment the mouse of the tooltip needs to jump to the other side. So I'm going to say here, and that's because of the right. So right is always bigger than whatever our movement is. So I'm going to say here right would be the end here, and our cursor is always smaller compared to that. However, if I do right minus our cursor, we would get here a certain value, and this value should not be smaller than this value here, or than 170 pixels. And if it is the case, if that is the case, we want to say here this should be minus 170. So that one will make sense, and then else we're going to say this, because there's only one or the other, and this is why I was questioning this one here. It's going to comment this out, and we can just test that. Else it will be always this plus 20 pixels. Save that, and then make sure do we have everything here set. Yes, it's all set. Save, refresh. Now I move my cursor here, and surprisingly it doesn't work, so I want to double check. Left side is not defined. Alright, so what is going on here is the left side. How did I get the left side? Right side. What's this? Left side. Did I have anything with left side? Oh, sorry. The console log. Save. Refresh. Alright, so now we get that. Let's close that. There we are. Alright, this is interesting. So we get this weird effect here. And I don't even understand why this is the case. So let's see. Alright, this one works. And then here we have something that I'm not expecting even. So I don't understand this one. So if the right side would be that, so let me then double check what is exactly in the right side. Save, refresh, open up developer tab. Then we have this. Where do we get the double item? Let me just search here. Alright, this is the double item. Somewhere in the center. And alright, interesting. We get this here. And there, alright, so we have to do something with that because this doesn't make any sense. Alright, so let me check this quickly. Alright, so after some testing and some refreshing for some reason, maybe something was in my cache memory, it works now fine. So you have to check that one. I cannot explain exactly what happened because the logic would make sense, and I was testing it with this, and this is probably not even necessary because it's redundant. It's basically we want by default always to have it on the right side position unless we're so close to the end or to the edge of the right side that we need to move it to the left. That's the only thing here. So if I would move this here, what will happen here? Basically not much, except that it will temporarily remove the item, and that is probably because of the animation here. So there's some work eventually that needs to be done. So anyway, it doesn't matter for now. What I want to next one is when I go up, we have to push that down. So let's do that one as well. Same logic again, but now in this case, it instead of going with the right side, we're going to go up and down. So what I'm going to do here is going to delete this. We're going to say here another constant, or sorry, not a constant, but an if statement. And this if statement will say the following: if mouse move dot offset y, and this y, we have to think about the following: how much is the height? Let's say here we want the height. Let's see if we say here smaller or equal to 90 pixels. That should be more than enough because we have this plus that, and then maybe some extra padding up so it will not hit the top. So let's do it like that. I think 90 would be fine. So if it's 90, in that case, if there's 90 or lesser than 90 pixels up space here, it means that we're very close to it. Move this tooltip down. It's very simple. So we're going to say here then y tooltip equals, and that's the y tooltip is going to this one here. So then this will be equal to mouse move y, basically the cursor, plus 20 pixels. So from our cursor, 20 pixels down. Else, if that is not the case, then what we're going to do here is we can just basically grab this again, put that one in here, but then we say here, this will be minus how many pixels? Well, we measured by 90, and the reason why is because we have still padding on top of it. But I'm going to put in here, let's say 70, and we can see if we're satisfied with that amount. So once we did that, I'm going to copy this, assign it in here for the positioning, save, refresh. Alright, so now I move this, we're going up, down, up, down, up, down, alright, and then here, exactly as what I wanted. There we are. Look how beautiful this is. This is absolutely phenomenal. And so now we have our functional tooltip here. What I want to do next, of course, to put in text in the tooltip, and that will be in the next video.